It's on me. It's on me. If it does go wrong. So thank you very much. My name is Gareth Jones, and I run a company called Lightrise Consulting. And the boring bit is that we provide IT and HR services. The exciting bit is that I spent a lot of my career in this area. I got fed up with people being sold things that they didn't need to be sold. And we focus on just giving people appropriate IT solutions that they need. And more importantly, everything we do because we want to make a positive impact. We linked up with a great organization called B1G1, and you can use this code today and on your sheets to make an impact on some amazing development projects. There's also some other freebies on those sheets as well. So what we're talking about today is unlocking the power of Copilot for small and micro businesses. You might have used ChatGPT. I'm going to give you a quick comparison. It's a whistle-stop tour about all the things which Copilot can do. I'm happy to chat about it. On the back of the sheets which you've got in your chairs, there's also a link to the FSB website, which contains a lot of information around what Copilot can do for you as a small business. That's me. My name's Gareth, I think, still. Who likes puppies? Anyone like puppies? Yeah. Show of hands. There's a puppy. This was created with Copilot. I asked it, and it's all in the prompts. The magic is in the prompts. Create a photorealistic picture of a puppy in a Microsoft hat. And I just thought I'd put that in there for the hell of it. So why this matters? Well, as business owners and entrepreneurs, as you've quite rightly said, we've got multiple hats, do all sorts of things. But the more important thing is we do this because we care. We care about whatever we're doing. We know it's hard work. Done well to get to where you need to be today. But we've always come at AI first, thinking, right, I don't like people helping me, quite frankly. I try to do everything myself, and it's quite a good trait to have up to a point. But it's even become easier because of things like Copilot, because now we can go create a puppy and do all of those things as well. Probably not so helpful for larger organizations, I would say, who probably feel a bit threatened by this, because actually a lot of the service-based industries, the things that we traditionally go to get things from them, you can always go to Copilot. Now, the key thing here, hopefully you can all see that, is around the security. You can use ChatGPT, you can ask it lots of questions, I'm sure lots of you have. But when it comes to your business and protecting what is within the parameters and the boundaries of your business, Copilot is much more secure because you can do stuff in the background, which makes it secure, essentially. ChatGPT is based on an AI language model. It's like, almost trillions of bits of data, which this thing is trained on. The language model that ChatGPT uses was the same language model that's also in Copilot, but Copilot uses other things as well. So speaking to colleagues just leaving out the door at the moment from Barclays, and she was talking about how Barclays uses it, but it's all ring-fenced within their organization. And Copilot is also using the stuff that you've done as well. So at a general level, ChatGPT, you've got this thing called conversational AI, create the puppy picture, all of that sort of stuff. You do have that in Copilot, but it's also integrated with lots of the Microsoft applications as well. So it's built into the likes of Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams, and we're going to go through this presentation. You'll see some examples of this as we're moving through. I've talked about the security there, and there's a way of securing it in the background. And bring this into view. That's my Copilot window. That green shieldy thing, enterprise data protection. So I know that whatever I put in there is nice and secure. And it's not going to go out into the ether, which is what one of the case studies that Barclays colleague was talking about earlier with a company which arrived here a couple of weeks ago. If we move through, though, and take a look to see some examples of this. So this is a sort of day in the life of an executive, could be anyone, start in the morning, looking at Outlook, and Copilot is embedded in Outlook, and it can help prioritize what you need to do in your day. You're wearing those several hats. It's quite easy. I forget all the time. I've gone, oh, can you remember speaking to me? I was like, no. Well, if it's an Outlook or it's recorded somewhere, then Copilot can help you out with all of that. If you're using Teams, you can switch on record. So as an IT consultant in the past, we'd often go to people and go, there's often enterprises, right, we're going to have a workshop. How long's the workshop? It was one day. Oh, I need to bring Jack or Jill with me, and that's doubled the costs. Don't need that now. If we're running a workshop on Teams and we set record, it records all of the conversation for us. It records the notes for us. And as you see, it can even move those notes into a CRM system, which is great for small businesses because it's really going to save you costs on your bottom line. Things like PowerPoint. It's now embedded in PowerPoint. Is it all right if I take questions at the end? Because my time's ticking and I'm getting scared. And I'm guessing that my questions don't come out of time. PowerPoint, you can ask it to create a presentation for you. Now you can do this within the conversational AI as well, and create pictures and those sorts of things, but it will just go through and it will just create you PowerPoint. Now it won't be perfect, but it will get you 80% of the way there. And as busy business owners, then that's going to be hopefully super useful. Things like Word. I mean, this is a bit of a dirty secret, but a couple of years ago when we started our business, I would go in there and say, well, create me a policy that's aligned with CIPD, and off it would go. And okay, well, that'll do. No one will know about it. The good thing is that FSB, of course, have got all of those things there in a templated approach. I've always taken this approach of how can I get from A to B or Z as quickly as I can, as safely as I can, using the tools that I've got. And I'm really a bit of a skinflint. I don't like paying a lot of money for anything. So, having templated approaches is always a good thing. In this case, someone is saying, well, rewrite my speech. They've got 20 minutes to work on a speech. They've created something, they've put it into Word. Copilot is rewriting the speech for them. The secret is in the prompts that you create. So the answers that you seek can be found in the prompts that you create. On the back of those sheets, so there's a whole series of example prompts which you can use within Copilot, which will hopefully help you out in the business. But here's a real world example where we've used this recently. We've been applying for a tender. We would like to punch above our weight. And we've been applying for a tender. We've done a few of these now. Actually, we were doing around 3 to 6 a month with only a small team of a few people. And we were able to do that using Copilot. But the secret here was that we are now able to say, well, we've quality checked those responses. We've put them through the mill, so to speak. We're giving our tender response to Copilot, and we're saying, well, create new responses based on the responses that we've already done, happy with, essentially. And we've gone into the system and done that. This thing over here on the left isn't just conversational Copilot. It's something called Copilot Studio. And that means that you don't need to be a programmer. Honestly, you don't need to be a programmer anymore. You can ask it to do something and it will create the technical things for you. So these are often called agents. You can create your own agent to do things. You can create your own apps to do things. You can say, well, just create me an app that does this, that, and the other. And it will go off and it will create the app for you. It will create all the data structures in the background and stuff that would often take days from an IT point of view can take hours, basically, which would be really scary if I wasn't running my own business from the ground up and not working for someone else now where they're actually doing that and trying to sell you 10 days of consultancy when you can probably do it with half a day and even do it yourself. All sorts of other examples there about prompts. I won't go into all of them, but just to call out a few. Here's an example of one that I like. Tell me about the ethics and integrity of this company and their CEO. I love doing that because then I really know who I'm dealing with. It will come through and it goes, oh yeah, they've been in the media. And it's like, no, I don't want to touch them. So you can really think about how you can use this in a creative way. How do I become Cyber Essentials compliant using Business Premium? Well, you can. One of the codes there on your sheet is for a school, and we're teaching people to do that because, again, I don't really like paying people hundreds of pounds to become security compliant. So we've packaged this up And we're showing you how you can do this with standard Microsoft stuff. A few more examples. Teams, move these emails and conversations into my CRM system. There's something called dynamic sales. It integrates with that, but you can use Copilot to integrate with other things as well, HubSpot, those sorts of stuff. We've talked about the creation of PowerPoint presentations, but I'm conscious of the time, so let's get through to a few examples. Here is Copilot being used within Teams, having a call, and it's summarizing on the right-hand side exactly what's going on in the call, what's coming up with notes. So, you don't need to have note-taking summaries. It will automatically send those out to people in the call. Another example here where it's embedded in Excel, and we've got a cash flow forecast. We've got Copilot on the right-hand side, and it's saying, highlight the most shipped items, create me some forecasts, highlight these cells, and it goes off and does it. You don't need to know all the jiggery-pokery and the formulas and all that sort of stuff now. This really does empower you. And Microsoft's vision is to empower everyone on the planet. This is their CRM system. It's called Dynamics Sales Hub. But again, on the right-hand side here, it's coming up saying, oh, you've got a sales meeting. You might want to prepare for this. You've already spoke to these people. It's going through and it's prompting you to think about how you can push forwards with the information that you've got within the organization in order to keep nurturing those conversations with people, bring it into your relationship management systems and move forwards with it. So having worked with salespeople in the past, a lot of them hated doing this. They'd love going out drinking and eating everything, but they wouldn't like to update the CRM systems. But now you've got Teams, it goes straight into Teams, it goes into the CRM system, and with Copilot, it's also then prompting you and sort of nudging you along, saying, oh, you might want to follow up on this. You've got a call coming up. Do you need to prepare for this? It's linking up to your calendars. And just a final example there in Word. So you've got a document, could be anything, and you've gone, please, can you summarize this document? Now, you could feed this into Copilot, the conversational element, which I had up on the screen earlier with the green shield. You could put it in Word. There's always more than one way to achieve many of these things. But again, here, it's there in the interface in Word. You're asked it to summarize the content of the document, and it's gone through, taken a look at this, and it's come up with various different ideas and those sorts of things for you. That is a very, very quick overview of the touch points, really, that you get in a lot of the main applications for Microsoft and how Copilot differs to ChatGPT. There are other things out there, Perplexity with Google, but as I said at the beginning, I've liked to sort of adopt the standard things which people use out of the box, get value from it, try and keep it as cheap as possible. And that's what we do. And as I said earlier, we're all about being a business for good. I've always wanted to change the world. I went to university just down the road here at the University of Southampton, studied environmental sciences, and I've always thought, how can I use all the things which I've done in my career to still get back to hugging trees and doing some good in the world? And this is where we've linked up with B1G1, which is our partner. But everything that we do, so it's aligned to the UN Sustainable